Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new video here on the channel. Lately, Hanoi, Vietnam has been in the news as potentially coming back to the F1 2024 calendar. I doubt we're actually going to see that become a reality, but however, I've taken that as an opportunity to actually do a race here on F1 2020, the game where we had the Vietnam circuit, but obviously it never actually came to happen in real life due to everything that went down in 2020 and whatnot. I don't know if you guys noticed, but there was a big event that year that kind of messed up the world for a little while, but here we are. At Vietnam, we're going to be racing as Sergio Perez in the Racing Point today, and we're going to see what we can do here at Hanoi, a track that I have very little experience at, but I think we're going to have some fun. Alright, we are on the grid then, ready to go racing. No weather to deal with. I don't have no custom setup here. I literally have 3 custom setups ever in this game that go back to 2020 and June and July. So, I'm going to go with the increased top speed because there is, of course, some very long straights here in Hanoi, but there is still an aspect of the circuit where you want some downforce. So, I'm not going to go maximum top speed, but yeah, 2.5 extra laps of fuel. We're just going to roll with it and see what we can do here on the soft compound tires to kick off this Grand Prix, and I am ready to go racing here right behind Roman Grosjean. It's going to be lights out. We are underway here in F1 2020 in the Vietnam Grand Prix. Oh, a little bit of oversteer right off the bat. So it's been speculated this track is going to return to the 2024 Formula One calendar. Of course, there's also been speculation that South Africa and Kia Lamy is going to get a date. And I've only driven that track like once or twice, and that was in Assetto Corsa Competizione here now, as I got my teammate of Lance Stroll on my left-hand side here. He's not going to make it easy on me now. We're going to drag race down this first long straightaway, but this is obviously the short straightaway compared to the one that we are about to face. I'm trying to not waste too much battery here now, as I'm also trying to not do anything stupid down into this corner. So just going to play it safe, let things kind of do its thing here. We go through this long sweeping left-hander. This is an interesting corner, very unique in Formula One. If this calendar, or if this track gets a spot back on the calendar, and we have been side by side with my Canadian teammate there, Lance Stroll, for a moment, but look at the setup difference now. We have a huge run down this straightaway on Roman Grosjean, so we're gonna have an opportunity to make a lunge of the inside here. Jeff coming over the radio, a bit of a defensive move from the Haas. I really sent it off in here, but we're okay. I don't know how the AI are gonna react if I just make a late move up there inside, so I'd rather not find out. So there we go. Now Grosjean down to 12th place or 13th place. We're up in a 12th, and you can see it looks like it's a Red Bull that's gotten way ahead of everybody now. I'm going to make a wild guess and say that's Max Verstappen here. Now this is where things get interesting. This is where you want to have the downforce on the car in this setup here in sector 3 basically. It gets really interesting to come through this section of track. So different from the first part, and when you get towards the final corner, I love the final turn in this circuit, and you're about to see it. If you don't remember this track, it is a really interesting corner. Look at this. You got to go through this left-hander, get so close to the wall, but keep the speed at the same time. It is such a unique corner. Magnussen in harvesting already here at the end of lap 1. I'm going to get it up the inside here, and I will take that position gladly. So up into 11th place we go. A little bit of work to do here to get into the points, but honestly, some good ground made up here. As this first section right here kind of reminds me of the beginning of the Sochi circuit as well. It really is such a unique circuit. You know, when you look at the new circuits that kind of come to Formula One, especially street circuits nowadays, they all kind of follow a very simple kind of design. A lot of straightaways and 90-degree corners. Now, we have a lot of straight line speed here in Hanoi, but what we don't have is those 90-degree kind of setups. We actually have some more kind of a natural racing circuit feel to it instead of just forcing those 90-degree left or right-handers down our throats. I mean, Baku is the perfect example of that. However, I do enjoy Baku, but it really is a fine example of kind of what a lot of circuits like to do when they come to the calendar nowadays, which it gets a little bit old after a little bit, but I really enjoy the way this circuit is. I would not be against it returning to the calendar, but every year you kind of see articles come out about new circuits coming to the calendar that, you know, like Vietnam and now Kia Lamy, and then they never end up actually happening. So I wouldn't be surprised, like I said, if that was the case with Vietnam once again through the final turn. Oh, that's one of the most intense corners on the calendar if this circuit makes it, because it is seems like such an easy corner to screw up and absolutely end your day if you just make a slight miscalculation right there at speed now. So up into points though, passing Esteban Ocon in the Renault, and now we'll try to run down Lando Norris in the McLaren, and then you got Hamilton's having a rough Grand Prix so far in P8. DRS now enabled, so we have some good straight line speed in this car. It's still a Red Bull out in front here as we head down towards the 100 markers, kind of where I'm braking at for this right-hander, and then we just go through this long sweeping lefty, and you just kind of have to wait here. It's all about patience through this corner. You don't want to really go side by side through here. So now this is where we're going to make a massive run at Lando Norris, hopefully. Oh, he's actually not harvesting, so I'm going to save a little bit of battery. We're already down to 32%, so I'm just going to stay behind him. Here we go through the final turn, a run on Lando. He's got the DRS open, but I'm able to get a decent run here down towards turn 1, and we should be able to get the position on Lando. Down into the corner we go, and yes, we take the position there. A little wide, not what I wanted to do, but we're okay. I really miss this Racing Point team, obviously rebranded into Aston Martin, but with the BWT sponsorship, I mean, they did such a good job. I just clocked into the wall right there. I think we're okay. I don't think there's any damage, but I don't even remember if I left damage on or not for this exhibition race. But I really missed that pink and white combo, you know? Oh, yes, sir. Oh, what's mix 3 F1s? Okay, I thought he said mix 1 for a second, but this pink and white combo, BWT, it always looks so good on circuit. Obviously, Alpine has the BWT sponsorship now, but they don't make it work very well with the pink on their car, but this team, Racing Point, always did a really, really good job with it. We have a nice tussle going on up in front of us. I believe that is Charles Leclerc. Yes, it is Leclerc with Valtteri Bottas, some oversteer on the exit of the corner. The car just feels so much more controllable in F1 2020 compared to a lot of the current games cycle like F1 22. This car is just more controllable, and you just feel, I feel more, I don't know, feel more connected to it a little bit, which I think is also leading to why it's more controllable. And you can seem to use a lot more curbs in F1 2020. I never played a lot of F1 2020. I just wasn't really into this game a whole lot when it came out, and just never really bothered with it. But that was also at a time where on my main YouTube channel I was really focused elsewhere. So F1 just didn't really fit in to my gaming schedule at the time. Hamilton goes a little defensive right there. I could have launched one around the outside. He's on the medium, so that's one of the reasons he's not having the most pace right now. I would expect him a little bit later on. He's really going to be popping off, because we do have to make a pit stop, of course, and that's really where he's going to see the advantages of those soft tires. All right, we're going to go get Lewis now, hopefully, as I just realized. Is that a Renault in second? It looks like Daniel Ricciardo is in second place. I also just noticed I'm basically out of battery right now, so I got to stop using battery for a little bit, and we are losing so much time to Lewis. Oh, I did not mean to do that. My bad, Lewis. All right, I got it right on him. I didn't think I was going to unsettle his car quite like that. I mean, we'd take it now, but up in a P8 we go. Now, one of the negatives about Sector 3 here in Hanoi is pretty straightforward. There's basically 0 passing opportunities in the third sector whatsoever, which is unfortunate now. As I mean, you could, if you were set up this corner, you know, drastically enough, and there's enough of a pace difference, you could maybe lunge one into this corner right here. But I mean, that's really the only spot, because you're not obviously going to pass into a corner like this. You're going to set one up for the exit of this corner. However, it looks like Hamilton, or no, that's Bottas. I was like, why would Lewis be pitting? But yeah, no, Hamilton in the pits. I messed up my braking zone right there. So Bottas, the first one to come in. We are going to be coming in at the end of lap 8, so we still have some time. I'm a bit surprised to see Bottas pitting as early as he has now. As I swear, every time I lock up my front wheels into a corner, I swear the smoke looks so much better in F1 2020 than it does in F1 22. I have no battery really to use. The two Ferraris are going at it. Hamilton's going to be looking up my inside here down into the braking zone. A big lunge. Somebody has a bit of a lockup in front of us here, trying to give Lewis some room. We stay ahead for now. I am dealing with a ton of oversteer, however. He is trying to follow me every move I make at this point, even when I'm slipping inside and around the circuit now. But overall, holding on to P7. Sainz having a good run here in the McLaren as well. I missed the Carlos Sainz McLaren days. Obviously, going to Ferrari has worked out pretty well for him. He's won a Grand Prix at Silverstone, and he also doesn't have to go through the McLaren struggle that they are going through right now. Did Lewis just pit? I think Lewis just pitted. He did. He's on the mediums. I don't get the point of that. There's no gain at that point here, so interesting. Now, one thing that's cool about this race is in F122, when they, I'm gonna send it by the way right here. Oh no, I'm not. I messed up my braking zone. But oh, he locks up. But it seems like in F122, your teammate will never pit before you unless you just decide to go really long on a strategy. But here, it's kind of cool to see that Lance actually pits a lap before our pit window even opens. Send it, send it, send it, send it. Oh, barely within the racing surface, and we make the move work. I wanted to at least do one send here today in Hanoi because I mean that's one thing this circuit kind of sets you up for is being able to send it. So we get past Carlos, but he's gonna have DRS. We are not, and now I'm gonna try and waste some battery, but I have no battery to waste, so we're just a sitting duck here. All right, we got a pit now. I just don't remember how to get into the pit lane here. I've never actually, I don't think I've ever made a pit stop at this circuit. I'm just gonna follow the Ferrari in front of us. 37 miles. I just went 38. I just got a 5-second time penalty for going a mile per hour over the speed limit. Oh, that's unfortunate. Here we go then now, as we don't have to actually be held for 5 seconds, but that time is obviously going to be added on at the end of the Grand Prix. So that will be the damage done, and we will see where we cycle out on hard tires. I just realized we are on hard tires and not medium, so okay. Alright, this is not what I was necessarily expecting here, as we're all over the back of Esteban Ocon to kick off the track rejoin, but that ain't good. I thought I could have sworn it was soft to mediums. Alright, we got some work to do now. We're going to have to drive really hard. Information on Sainz, and he's got an issue. Watch this. Esteban Ocon has an issue, and that's he lost a position right there. Absolutely massive send right there. And up into P8 we go. So yeah, I mean, we're on the hards. We got some work to do. I have terrible through there. Holy good heavens. Oh, what's that? I saw a bunch of smoke at Sainz. Sainz definitely has an issue. Jeff wasn't getting. His engine has completely expired. Everything's kind of calmed down here, coming to 4 laps to go. I have no battery, no DRS obviously, so it is a great opportunity for Esteban Ocon behind myself to try and, you know, put some pressure on me. We are closing in on Charles Leclerc. Vettel has been able to get in front of him and do a good job managing that gap. But to Leclerc, I don't know, maybe he has an issue because he's lost quite a bit to Seb, and he's losing quite a bit to a Racing Point, which you should be losing ground to a Racing Point at this point, at this point. Haha, get it? Alright, anyways, we move on into this final sector and just try to close that gap to Leclerc. I mean, it's possible. We could definitely get there. It's just going to take a bit of extra work. Not like that though, as we go down towards this final corner very quickly, and that was a terrible final turn. We're going to lose quite a bit of time for that. We are actually setting a really good pace now, 1.7 seconds behind Leclerc. I'm going to use this straight away though, all about focusing on saving some battery. We're actually beating the Ferrari in a straight line versus Ocon, which we're not, so that tells me that for sure Leclerc has to have some sort of issue. Alright, we're coming to 2 laps to go. This time, that gap continues to shrink between myself and the Ferrari of Leclerc. However, we still have to worry about that 5-second time penalty, which is not going to do us any favors, obviously. And we are not anywhere close to 5 seconds ahead to Norris or Ocon. So, yeah, that's not ideal. Now, we might have a 5-second gap on our team at Stroll. I believe we do, and we continue to put up a pretty good pace here. So I think we can definitely still get a top 10. Oh my god, that was a really bad turn 1. That does us no favors right there as we try to close in on Leclerc, but dealing with a little bit of oversteer, as you guys can obviously tell. That does us no favors in terms of the gap with these final 2 laps underway. Alright, we're going to be within the DRS here of Leclerc once we come back around next lap, but no battery, so we're going to have to just simply rely on that DRS now. We're actually closing in a bit on Sebastian Vettel as well over the last few laps, so maybe it's just Ferrari kind of slowing down late in this Grand Prix. You have to wonder now, as they are so much better than me through that specific corner, as I always find a way to lose some time there. We should be okay on field. Yeah, we're fine on field, so no concerns there. 1 lap to go in Hanoi. DRS is open as we head down towards that 100 marker and hit the brakes very hard. Actually could have gone a little bit later that time. Not the curbing I wanted to grab right there, so we lose a bit more time, and oh, that's not ideal either. I was slipping and sliding all over the place. That's going to be it right there. We had a shot, but now it's over as I just slid for half of that corner now. So I'm going to abuse the daylights out of this battery and just see if we can do something and get a little bit closer to Leclerc. But now that's going to put an end to our opportunity here as we head down into this little chicane through the long sweeping left-hander. Those curves really come out and catch you here in Hanoi very, very quickly as we are going to head towards this final long straightaway. We could have definitely got Leclerc, but it's just not going to be meant to be on this one. So we're just going to drain that battery to 0%, 1%, and there we go. We are completely out of battery on this long straightaway. It's Red Bull and Mercedes. I believe, I don't know if it's Bottas or Hamilton. My guess it's Bottas who's up in second place. Had run down that Red Bull over the course of the Grand Prix because whatever Red Bull that is was had a nice comfortable gap earlier in the race, and now they got just a couple of corners to go and they will be the winner. Is it going to be Albon or Verstappen? Albon's AI is not half bad in F1 2020, so it actually legitimately could be Alex Albon. No, I was looking up at the top of the screen and drilled the barrier, but it's Max Verstappen with the victory here in Hanoi as we come through the final few corners ourselves, trying to run down Leclerc, but it's not going to be enough, of course. But hey, P8 probably going to be P10 with the time penalty. Not too shabby there as we come through that final turn, and there you have it. We crossed the line. It's going to be P10 with the time penalty in Hanoi. I mean, still so much fun driving this circuit. I really, really do enjoy this track a lot. I'm curious to see how much I beat Lance by. Driver of the day, Daniel Kvyat. All right, we beat Stroll by, I'm waiting for it. Come on, it's, okay, we beat him by only 0.8 of a second. So it got a little bit close right there as you see the rest of the finishing order. But podium, Verstappen, Bottas, and Hamilton. Ricciardo with a great day there in P4, Albon in P5. That's going to wrap it up. Do you guys want to see Vietnam, Hanoi circuit back on the F1 calendar? And if not, let me know why. And if you do, let me know why. And do you think it will be back on the calendar next year? But that's going to do it for me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.